It's time for Peptide Talk, featuring Garrett Pope. Now, here is your host, Joe Zapata.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Peptide Talk. I'm Joe Zapata here for another week. But before we get started, guys, if you can go to equipfoods.com, use protein code JerseyJZ, get 15% off with all your orders, all your protein, creatine, coffee, they have it all. Also, if you can go to Jacked Jeans, jackjeans.com, my friend Chris has a bunch of old school merchandise that he's now selling, and it's a bunch of old school shirts like Mike Menser, all the old school guys, and it has all the old school sayings. It's called jackjeans.com. My friend Chris runs the company, and go there and get 15% off right now. And you get all the old school type of shirts. Lee Priest, Ronnie Coleman, I mean, all the old school guys. Very cool stuff. All right, Garrett, it's me and you here, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to talk about a little bit about EQ. But first, why don't we get into Retatrutide, which actually there's been some things going around and some stuff in the news. I'm going to bring up a couple articles that I saw that you sent me. Here's one of the articles saying that according to the Victorian Health Alert, a reminder that risks associated with unapproved peptide products. So what is going on with Retatrutide? What are they saying now? Is this more fear-mongering?
Yeah. So the Victorian report, that's Australia. So know, Victoria, Australia. So what they're basically saying is, which is funny, people have bought products labeled Retatrutide, Retta, R10, R20. They're telling people you should just throw your products away. And soon, though, Eli Lilly can supply you with the real products. Let me explain to you. So Retatrutide is actually being shown in studies to actually help with liver issues and liver enzyme counts and all this. Mm-hmm. And what they're saying is liver toxicity happened with 6 people, okay? 6 people. So my first question is this. You're going to tell me, let's see what the number of people in Australia, this is Australia. Let's see the number of people in Australia that have used Retatrutide. Is it 6 out of 6? I highly doubt it. Is it 6 out of 6,000 or 36,000? You see my point? Mm-hmm. Now, the second thing is we don't know anything about these people's histories. We don't even, how do we know they didn't have prior liver problems? And they didn't even know about it. Let's say they did, you know how many people do things that they have issues, they go and they use a product and they go to the doctor and the next thing the doctor goes, oh, well, your liver enzyme is raised or this is a problem or that's a problem. And they turn around and they say, what are you using? Oh, I'm on Retatrutide. Where'd you get that from? So this is more fear mongering. And for them to actually put in one of those different things I sent you, one of them actually says, throw it away. Okay. I think it's the next one that says it. There's another one that says literally it says throw. No, the next one. I sent you 3, right?
Yeah, maybe it's this one. I don't know. No, not that one. This one, maybe. I don't know which one. Maybe it's this one.
There's another one.
Yeah,
and it says literally throw your product away. And I laugh because I'm like, all right, that's absolutely ridiculous. So people are going to buy, and they covered everything in here. If it says Retatrutide, Retta, R10, R20, anything that it says, throw it away. Come on. Yeah. They're trying to fear monger people. This is what they're leading into with the whole, well, you can buy it from Eli Lilly, though, pretty soon. And we can guarantee you. So this is where they're going with this. They're doing this with a lot of peptides also. You see a lot of this stuff on the internet now. They're not approved. They're not, listen, they were never approved. It was never an issue before. Now now people care. Big pharma cares. The government cares because they realize they can make money off this stuff.
Of course.
That's the only reason why they care. Beforehand, they didn't care at all.
Yep.
Hey, do whatever you want. We can't make money off that product. We can really care less. Now that they realize, oh my God, people are out there getting on, I'm not even going to call it the black market, the gray market, okay? People are getting on the gray market. Well, we can make our money. We're losing money on it. So, that's fine. You know what? You want to do what you want to do and make your money, but don't go around fear-mongering to people.
Yes. Now, I heard people were saying you got to be careful getting it from China, but I heard even Eli Lilly gets it from China. The raw materials. Everyone does.
I said to somebody the other day, I had somebody on a phone consult the other day, and she asked me, what I'm afraid of is where do you get your stuff from? Because, you know, I was getting it from this peptide company, and then I found out it was coming from China. And I laughed, and I said, even the pharmacies are getting it from China. The compounding everywhere. That's where it originates from. These peptide powders are originating in China. Now, understand what's going on. Let's say you want a specific dose of something. Let's say I'm just going to throw out there a Reta 60 milligrams. Okay. Well, a compounding pharmacy can get a whole bunch of Reta and compound it into a 60 milligrams into one bottle. Okay. But where that powder originates is China.
It's China.
So what I'm trying to explain to everybody is your peptides start from China. I don't care who, and if anybody out there, any company out there, and there's somebody fly-by-night peptide companies out there stating U.S.-based warehouse. Be very careful in the wording. U.S.-based warehouse. Well, all they're saying is they're stocking their stuff in a warehouse here in the U.S. It doesn't start from the U.S.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
You know, if anybody makes a claim of U.S. manufactured, U.S. made, that's a different story. Then, okay, well, I'd like to see the proof of that because all these powders are coming from China. And no matter, and that's one of the problems with the U.S. right now with their even Eli Lilly. Understand, Eli Lilly has a deal with China to get all these products from them. So people don't realize that. They think, oh, well, now that Eli Lilly is involved, what are you nuts? Eli Lilly has a deal with China. They have pharmacies set up where they're getting their stuff right from China. So it all originates from China. Anybody out there, you know, and I've heard people lately say to me, I don't want the Chinese peptides. I go, then you don't want peptides because they're all coming from China, no matter what company you go through. Now, I've talked about it in the past. You have to have certificates of analysis. You have to have genetic testing. That's a different story. If you're getting peptides and you, hey, what's the purity of this? And somebody can't tell you. Somebody can't say without a shadow of a doubt, well, it was tested and it's got 99.8% purity. If they turn around to you and go, it's pure. Oh, has it been tested? I don't know. Well, then that's a different story. So, but all this stuff that comes through, like I said, everything that I get is tested, okay? Anything that comes through underdosed or not pure gets tossed to the side and you can get credit for through the pharmacy. You know what I mean? It's not, what I try to explain to people is it's all coming from China. Every single peptide company out there is getting their stuff from the same place. Anybody who thinks anything different, you're fooling yourself.
Yep, 100%. And I tell people all the time, look, if you want to have a consultation with Garrett, obviously I know your stuff has always been good and tested. You can get it from Garrett, but you got to have a blood work and do the whole consultation with you and work from there. But it's all legit. Again, get it tested if you don't believe us, whatever, but it's all legit. 100%.
Exactly. That's why I tell everybody, you know, anybody, you are more than welcome to get stuff tested. In fact, I encourage you to do it. Most people are cheap. They don't want to get it tested. You know what I'm saying? But I encourage people, if you have any, test it. You know what? That's peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? That's peace of mind right there. The same way. But then you know what? Between, you know, and this is the truth. Most people I tell when they tell me about, hey, I want to get on this, I want to do that. The first thing I say to people is, have you got your blood work done? No, I'm going to be going for it. And then I go, okay, well, once you get it, send it to me and I'll go over everything with you. And then we'll go from there. 4 weeks later, I'll shoot him a text. Got that blood work yet? I'm going to go this week. 2 weeks later, got that blood work yet? No, but I'd like to start getting on the stuff and then I'll get my blood work done. No. Do you see my point? And even when I had liquid range rejuvenation, and understand it was a state requirement.
Yes.
You couldn't get anything without, you had to get your blood work done first. You couldn't just come in and go, I'd like testosterone. I'd like this. I'd like that. You had to get your blood work done. It was a requirement. You know how many people tried to skirt the issue? You know how many people tried to sit there and come up with an excuse or, oh, I'll get it done. But can we just get this rolling first? People don't, they want to cut corners.
Of course. 100%.
You know, and when I tell people is, all right, hold on a minute. You're going to in one breath ask me what purity is this? What quality is this? I need to know this is the best out there. I don't want to take any chances. You don't want to take any chances, but you don't want to get any blood work done. You don't want to know what your cholesterol level is. You don't want to know what your blood pressure is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to know. You want to get a testosterone, but you don't know if your testosterone's in the toilet or not.
Yep. 100%. People need to know how their body's going before they start doing stupid shit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You know what? And then you make your educated decision off of that.
Yep. 100%.
Most people aren't in tune enough with their body either. What I tell people is, listen, I can change my dosage of something by literally 10 milligrams, and I'll know a difference. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll know a difference immediately. I'll feel a difference. I'll know a difference. Most people aren't in tune for that, and they don't know what the hell they're doing or what they're taking.
Nope.
100%. And that brings up another thing too. And I know we're going to get into EQ today and stuff. That's another thing too. I was going to save this for later, but I'll bring it up right now. For everybody out there, know your goal. And what I mean by know your goal is everybody's on a GLP-1 now. Everybody. I don't mean everybody, bodybuilders, everybody's on a GLP-1. And understand something, a GLP-1 or GLP-3 or whatever the hell you're on, whatever GLP period, it suppresses your appetite. We all know that. Okay? Yeah. It suppresses your appetite. So these people that are on a GLP suppressing their appetite, but then they're using things like DECA, Tren, EQ, or these drugs that increase your appetite. So I sit there and I go, wait a minute. I had somebody recently turn to me and go, somebody I know very well. Yeah, oh my God, yeah, the Retta, I'm on the Retta and the Glow and the this and the that, blah, 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 I'm loving it all. I want to get on the IGF LR3 also about another month. Mm-hmm. And I go, oh, wait a minute. You're using the Retta, you're getting on, with the IGF, you got to eat. You got to consume calories. That's going to increase, you got to eat. Mm-hmm. You got to take in carbs. You got to, after, I'm explaining the whole thing. Yeah, I know. I go, but then you're going to get off the Retta then for that, right? No, because I want to stay lean. No, it's not. That's not how it goes. I mean, you go back in the day, again, I hate to go back to the same person, but I'll go back to Dorian Yates, okay? You go back in the day to Dorian Yates, look what he used to do in the offseason, how big he used to go up to. I mean, he looked bloated, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He would go up to 305, 310. I mean, he was enormous. But do you think he was using cutting products while he was trying to bulk? No. And what I'm trying to tell people, if you're trying to put on size, you shouldn't be taking an appetite suppressant. Everybody now they have this idea, one of the worst things out there, and I hate to trash this person, but one of the worst things out there that's out there on social media now is Dr. Mike Israetel. You know who that is, right?
Yep. Know who he is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He is one of the worst examples that anybody can follow. And the reason why I say that is people want to follow him and listen to him because they go, but he's a doctor. Mm-hmm. Hold on a minute. Mm-hmm. I can point out plenty of doctors that look like pure shit, okay? Just because somebody has doctor before them means nothing, okay?
Yep, 100%.
And he's putting a lot of false things out there and a lot of things. And the first thing I say is, hold on a minute. This same person just went and got all that work done. You see all that stuff he had done to his, okay, all right. He did things that, you sit there and you go, okay, well, you're not a product of what you're preaching. You were a product of surgery. Okay.
Correct.
And then you're using all these exotic drugs, but you're a doctor, and he's given interviews where he said, oh, I know I've shaved off 15, 20 years of my life. And they say, but you're still on these things that you're shaving. Yeah, I know. It's just, I'm not going to get off it. Mm-hmm. But you're a doctor.
Yeah. You're a doctor.
You know what I'm saying? And then his thing of you have to go to that extreme overloaded stretch. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I believe in full range of motion as more than anybody else, but there's a point he does things that are absurd that you look at and you go, what are you doing? What you're asking for an injury there. You're overstretching the muscle, and there is a point of overstretching the muscle. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's one of the problems, and he's promoted out there. Oh, I'm on a GLP-1. I'm on this. I'm on that. I'm on a. Know your goal. pick what you want to be on. Listen, you want to put on size, you want to put on 20, 25 pounds of muscle, okay? You shouldn't be on a GLP-1.
No, eat more. Eat
exactly
more. Just
eat
eat more.
clean, eat more, increase your calories.
Correct.
There's other things to take. You are somebody who has problems, and what I mean by problems is problem areas.
Mm-hmm.
We'll use a woman, for example, because it's easier than a guy to use this example. You're a woman that holds fat in your hip area, in your thigh area, you have eggplant shape. You know what I mean? And you work out all the time, and you just can't. And you can't. Okay, well, a GLP-1, you just can't drop that extra weight that you hold. Okay, a GLP-1 would be perfect for you, but at the same time, they're not looking to increase their calories and bulk up and this and that. Know your goal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And people are doing all these cross goal things, and I'm just sitting there going, that's the first thing. Know what you're supposed to be doing. I have people call me up, okay, for scheduled times for phone consults, or I call them, okay, and I shake my head because they're telling me what they're going to do, what they want to do, and I go, but why? And they don't have even an answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw this online, and this person said to do this, and this person said to do that. Okay, but what's your goal? Well, I want to get bigger. I want to put on 30 pounds if I can, but I have fat on me. I want to lose my love handles. I want to have abs. You can't do it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't just transform all. Pick what you want to do. What I tell people first is, hey, let me see you. I don't have to see you in person. Let me see what you look like. Now I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Okay? But that's what you're paying me for. You're not paying me to sit there and go, you look good, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be brutally honest and go, all right, listen, you've got fat around your midsection. You're holding fat on your lower back. Your stomach, you're holding a lot of fat in. Women, I have a client, in-person client, I just said to her the other day, blunt as hell. She was doing a movement, and I turned around and I said to her, you on your period? And she looks at me and she goes, no. I go, you eat a lot of sodium yesterday? She goes, and she ran through what she ate. And I said, she goes, why? I go, you're just looking like you're retaining water and you're a little fat today. So you keep an eye on that. Mm-hmm. Now, that fucked with her head. Okay, that got, but all of a sudden, the next time she came in, she turns to me and goes, you said something and I didn't realize something, but you saw me on Tuesday. On Sunday, I had Chinese food. Boom! There's your water retention.
There you go.
There's your water retention. So I'm not always going to be, listen, people aren't paying me to be polite.
No.
That's not what I'm doing. I've never been polite. You know me.
That's true.
I'm not, I'm very blunt. And you got to have a thick, shell for that. A lot of people, they get their feelings hurt. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to look at you up and down, and I'm going to give you an honest assessment, okay? And an honest assessment, but that's what you should want. You shouldn't want me to go, oh, you look good, and give you false hope. The same way I have people come to me sometimes and tell me they want to do a show. And I look at them and I go, no, bro. I go, you need about 3 to 4 years of gym seasoning and hardcore work. Then think about a show. But there's too many trainers, coaches, whatever the hell they want to call themselves nowadays, that, you can do a show. Let's do a show. Great. Come on, man.
100%, And like you said, doctors, they don't know much about, like, if you went to a doctor and he put you on the scale, you would be obese. And you're not, obviously. They just don't know. They have a different scale they run by.
I'm clinically obese. My insurance company has me and every time I do the health assessment thing for my insurance, every single time, we need to work on, it comes on, of course, we need to work on your weight. You need to drop weight. And I laugh my ass off. And then I have to always call in and I have to talk to the same woman that I always deal with. And that's right. And I have to, believe it or not, like I said, she's good enough. I used to have to submit a photo of myself and everything. And now she's good enough. She's dealt with me for so long. She has my online stuff. So she just goes there and looks. And then she shows the powers that be, look, these videos were just posted a couple days. This is just current. And then they okay it. But I'm clinically obese according to, which is the dumbest thing in the world because I'm 6'2". like I said, between 275 and 285 normally, and I'm supposed to be 195. Do you know what I would look like at 195?
Yeah,
I would look like I was back in high school. And that's the honest to God truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think in high school I was about 195. You know what I'm saying? So I would look like I was back in high school. Come on.
Yeah, 100%. Now, also something that came out in the news is something that Trump has actually said is that they are going to, the restrictions on testosterone is going to be, I guess, lifted, or they're going to look into it. I have here, they're going to roll back testosterone restrictions. Now, Garrett, tell me, this is a good thing, bad thing? How do you look at this?
I think it's a catch-22. It's good and it's bad. And here's why. It's good because they're going to roll back the restrictions. There's going to be a lot of people out there that all of a sudden are now going to be eligible for testosterone replacement.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it. Are they really doing it for people's health, or are they doing it so big pharma can make more money?
Big pharma is going to make more money.
That's where my mind goes right away.
Mm-hmm.
My mind goes right away. Are they sitting there going, more people should be able to access testosterone? Or are they saying, listen, everyone's getting their damn testosterone, whether they're approved or not. It's easy to get. Let's roll the restrictions back. Let them get it through the pharmacy, and big pharma makes even more money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great idea. Because there is nobody out there, and I mean nobody out there, if they're denied through a doctor for testosterone, that goes, oh my God, how do I get testosterone? That's probably the easiest thing to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bar none. Okay, outside of peptides now, but that's easy. So when people say, it's good they're rolling the restrictions back, but it's bad because they're just trying to line their own pockets.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I don't trust the government. And listen, this has got nothing to do with who's in office either. I'm talking about the government as a whole. I don't trust them, period. Mm-hmm. I don't trust big pharma, forget about. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to line their own pockets. So is it good they're rolling the restrictions back? In a way. But is it bad? They're not, listen, for anybody out there that's celebrating this, like somebody on my Facebook the other day posted this and goes, boom, and goes, this is great for American men and women and blah, 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 blah. And I said, why is that? Are you going to make money off of this? No, this is just more money for big pharma. Educate yourself first on this. Mm-hmm. And they didn't know what when I meant by that and when I was talking about that, and they got very pissy about it. And after I explained everything, then they all of a sudden went silent. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is it's good they're rolling the restrictions back, but they're not rolling restrictions back because they want to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and, that's the truth.
I saw some people complaining, saying, "Oh, that if they do that, then the kids are going to try and get on them." I don't know, I don't think so. But marijuana, how is it in Florida? Because here it's legal in Jersey.
It's legal. It's legal down here. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we have vending machines here that you can go up to it, and we have vending machines in stores. You can go up to it and just grab and get it. Okay, what prevents a kid who's 16 to go get it? They just tell you on the thing, say if you're 18 or over, put in your birthday, and you can make up anything, and it'll come right out. So there's no.
I don't know if there's vending machines here. You got to understand, I don't get out much. I don't leave my compound. I really don't every interstate. Something that's what I try to explain to people. Everything's under one location for me. Where I live, where I work out, where everything is in. So I really don't get out much. There's times, and people think I joke around. There's times I actually don't start my car for 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, to be honest, I went from last November until April on 1 tank of gas. I swear to God. I swear to God. And I'm currently, when I had to get gas again in April, okay, I'm on 3/4 of a tank from April until now. So I only used a quarter. So I when I say honestly, I don't get out much.
Well, your gym and office is in your backyard right behind you, right? So you really don't have to go anywhere.
Everything, and that's what I'm trying to say. Everything is I've got everything under one roof, you know what I'm saying? And, then I've got, my gym attached and, where people, on the Instagram and this and that, and everything's under one thing and where I train people. So, I just don't, I really don't, when I say I don't leave, people, really don't realize I don't leave.
Everyone comes to you to work out, so they come to you.
Exactly. So I don't, there's times, people say, I go, somebody said something to me the one day, they joked around and they go, I've been paying attention to it. And they stuck a little thing in my back tire. It was like a little folded up piece of cardboard. He goes to me, you haven't moved your car in a month now because that piece of that it's in the same spot where I stuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh and I go, oh yeah, that's common. I go, sometimes I won't leave the house 4, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever,
Yeah, exactly. I know sometimes I check in with you and be like, hey, when are you going to the post office? And you're like, another week or so.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and then post office is close, thank God. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's good.
Close. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of times where I have to do I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to the post office today. That's 4 minutes away. Good Lord.
Yeah. And speaking of the post office, that brings us to one of our other topics. Now, there's a bunch of packages being, seized or under control or something. What's going on with the post office?
Yeah. No, that's the.
That's the other one. Okay, it's DOJ. Sorry.
That's the healthcare fraud thing. Okay. So what's going on with the post office is this, and I did a little digging on this. Domestic packages are being seized at a record rate right now. Now, what the old problem always used to be is international packages are at risk of being seized. That's not the case anymore. Domestic packages are being seized. So you can send a package from California to New Jersey and it'll get seized. And I found out why and what puts you at higher risk. Now, I'm going to use this as an example, and I'm going to be very cryptic in how I speak. So let's say hypothetically you got a package, and your package, if you have that package there with you by any chance or no? Okay. On your package, but I'm sure you looked at it, on your package, it was addressed to you, and it was addressed, obviously the sender's address, okay? And once I say how these packages are being seized, you're going to understand right away. What's happening is people are buying bulk labels, okay? So they're buying these pre-printed labels, and they're using cryptocurrency to buy it.
Okay.
That's a red flag for the post office. So the post office is doing their own internal investigations and are finding, John Smith bought 100 labels with cryptocurrency, done labels, cryptocurrency. And then he's sending out 100 packages over a course of 4 days. That's a red flag right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, hypothetically, if you would get packages that are just written out, handwritten, no printing label, and then the post office puts their own printing label on it, and it's bought in cash, okay, because you got to use your head here. You got to use your head. I tell people all the time, they're sending things out here, there, this, and that, and then they go up to the front of the line and they pay with a credit card. Are you fucking retarded? That's a trace. That's they have you. That's a trace. Let me ask you a question. If you were going to go to, it's been a long time since you live in Jersey. You guys still have ShopRite up there, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what goes out of business. So let's say you go to ShopRite and you guys have the self checkouts.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say you go to ShopRite and self checkout, and let's say hypothetically you were going to purchase $40 worth of food, but $25 worth of food you weren't going to check. You were going to just walk out with. Okay. How would you pay, cash or a credit card? You would pay cash, because if you pay with a credit card and they look at that camera, guess what? They got your info. They got you. They got you. They got you. They get your name. They got everything. Well, it's the same thing with this. And again, this is for educational purposes. I'm not telling anybody out there to go steal from the self-checkout.
Yeah.
I just want
to because people will be like, what's going on?
Yeah, I just want people to know that, throw that up there. People will be like, yo, he said go steal. That's awesome. So the same way, if you're going to be doing this with the post office, you never go like this with your credit card, okay? Or a debit card. There's a trace record right there.
Yep.
You pay cash, okay? Now, yes, are people going to sit there and say, well, there's still a camera? Yeah, they are, but the problem is this. What are they going to do? Well, we're going to do facial recognition, and no, they're not. They're going to look, how do you pay? Cash, this. All right, well, you know what? Just we'll flag this and keep an eye on things.
Yeah, and
okay?
actually, And actually, that's one of the reasons too. They tell you to put in your Price Plus card or whatever it is, your member card. Just put forgot my card or something. I mean, you got to be smart about things. And we're not telling people go steal, but
exactly the same way they tell you now. Would you like a printed receipt, or would you like it sent to your phone or email?
Yes.
You always get a printed receipt, because if you have it done to your phone or your email, they once again have you on record. The whole idea with anything, if you're doing anything that is not 100% on the up and up, you don't leave a paper trail.
Yeah.
And people don't realize this. And while we're on the post office, so what they're doing is, that's a red flag. So when you're buying pre-printed labels that are paid with cryptocurrency, it's sending off a red flag. And though they're then seizing those packages and inspecting those packages. Okay. And I'm not saying they're seizing all 100 of them, but they'll seize maybe 5 out of the 100. And that's all they need. And all of a sudden now they have enough to open an investigation. So
100%.
The second thing I try to tell people is, this isn't just common sense here. So a lot of people will have a P.O. box, for example, at the post office, right? Or they'll have packages. They'll go and they'll get it. If you go and if you're having, so a lot of people sit there and go, "Oh, well, I'm safe. I never have anything shipped to my address. I have it shipped to a P.O. box, and then I go and pick it up." Okay. Well, if you go and you pick that stuff up from a P.O. box, and you pull out of that post office, and 2 blocks away, a cop pulls you over. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a story, because I had this happen to somebody that I know, that I said to him. I said, you got to be stupid. So he gets pulled over. He has a stack on his front seat of boxes. I think he had like 6 or 8 boxes on his front seat from the post office. Cop pulls him over, this, that. Now I said to him, listen, there had to be, where there's smoke, there's fire. That cop knew something, okay? He didn't just randomly pull you over. First thing the cop says is, what's in those packages? Now, the correct answer would be, don't know. Picked them up from my P.O. box. I have no idea. Packages are sent to me. That's the correct answer. He turns around and goes, just stuff that I ordered. That's the first wrong answer. Second wrong answer, cop turns around and goes, can you open the boxes for me? I can, yeah. Wrong answer. Let me explain something to you, and this is fact. Anybody that doesn't believe me, consult with a lawyer. Fact. Anybody out there listening that idolizes Rick Collins, consult with him. Okay? Because this is fact. If you, hypothetically, that happens, you just turn around and you go, nope, I don't even know what's in the packages. I'm going home with the packages. You do not have permission. There is nothing they can do. They can't turn around and go get out of the car. We have
warrant or something.
We feel that you right to not inspect. Look through the vehicle. Okay, no, not at all. And the reason why is postal. That's a federal crime. If a cop were to turn around and just automatically go through the packages, he just committed a federal postal crime.
That's right, because you can't open up
a federal warrant, not even a local police department warrant. He has to have a federal warrant. Now, any cop that's going to pull you over as you're driving, he doesn't have a federal warrant. So at that point, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah. Best thing he should have done is put him in his trunk.
What was that?
He should have put it in the trunk, closed it up, and then, because when you pull him over, he's like, well, there's nothing there, buddy. He can't say, oh, let me search your car. It's like, no, what did I do wrong?
Exactly. And even if the cop were to turn around and go, what's in the trunk? Do you have anything in the trunk? Can I search the trunk? No need to search the trunk.
No need to. Nope.
And if you turn around and go, yeah, I'll pop the trunk. I have mail packages I just picked up there. What's in the mail package? Don't know. You don't have permission to look through them, though. There's nothing that they can do. And that's what I tried to. And too many people don't know, and they panic. And that's what happened with this guy. And he goes to them, yeah, I can open the boxes for you. Well, guess what happened?
Yeah, of course.
Guess what happened? Yeah, and when he's telling me this, I go, what is wrong with you? I go, first of all, like use your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Yeah,
100%. But some of these people don't understand.
They don't understand, and it's like, but that's what I try to tell people. That's a federal offense. A cop can't just go through a package. That's a federal. Now, a bigger mistake you could make: the eager beaver, I call them, the person that goes and picks up their packages, and they have to go into their car, and before they even pull away, open their packages in the car. Well, guess what? If those packages are open and then you reclose them, but they're not still originally sealed, you just go like this and go, open the box, close the box, and put it on your front seat, right? And then you get pulled over. Fair game. Fair game, because it's already open. So a cop turns around and goes, what's in the box right there? What's in the boxes? Oh, nothing. Open the boxes. Or I have reasonable cause. Then a cop can open the box. A cop cannot open a sealed postal box. So just for anybody out there that doesn't know any better.
100%.
And again, I'm not trying to encourage anybody to commit crimes.
No, exactly. We're trying to make sure that's clear. All right, Garrett. Now Equipoise, as is known, or Ganabol, I think it's also called. It's a very popular drug. Not today. I don't think too many people are doing it today. I don't see it a lot. What is it? What does it do? And is it good?
It's part of the Boldenon family.
Okay.
And I want to preface it by saying this. It is a horse drug.
Okay.
It is not for human consumption. There is no legal or usage for a human. It's not something like an Anavar, a Deca, a testosterone that has usage for human growth hormone, that has usage for humans. That is prescribed for humans. Okay. EQ will never be prescribed for humans. It's because it is a horse drug. And what it is used in horses, it's used to increase their body weight through lean muscle mass. It's used to increase their appetite. And it's also used to increase their red blood cell count.
Wow.
You increase your red blood cell count, that's more oxygen in uptake, which will increase your cardio output for a horse. That's huge if it's horse racing and everything. Okay. Run longer, run faster, run harder. Humans obviously use it. Now, what I try to say out there is a couple things. Number one, it will increase your red blood cell count. So the first thing right there is, I don't think I need to explain to anybody, but when your red blood cell count is increased, you're also increasing your risk of heart attack, stroke, all that. You have to keep that all baseline, and you have to make sure you keep your blood thinned. You have to donate blood. You have to do the proper things to make sure you bring your blood level down. Okay, so it will increase your red blood cell. The second thing EQ, and a lot of people don't realize, is it's called the anxiety drug. EQ gives a lot of people anxiety.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that, but a lot of people, after they use it, go, that really makes sense because I felt it. Okay. So that's the second thing. Will it increase your appetite? Yes. So, and that's what I was saying before, because we go back to this. I have somebody recently, I asked them, they had an appointment with me. I asked them, well, what are you currently on? Like, I looked at them. I knew what they were on. I knew they were on something. What are you currently on? Well, I'm on a low dose of Retatrutide. I'm on a high dose of Wegovy. So you're on 2 GLPs.
That makes no sense.
I'm on 1,000 mgs of testosterone a week. Whoa. I'm on 800 mgs of EQ a week.
Wow. And
I'm on 400 mgs of Tren a week. And then I forget what else they said. There was a couple other things in there. And I just said, stop. Number one, why are you on 2 GLPs? Number two, why are you on GLP, but you're also on mass drugs? What, you're doing 1,000 milligrams of test a week. You're doing 800 milligrams of EQ a week. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to get big? You're trying to get cut? I'm trying to do it all. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You can't do it all. You know what I mean? Like the same way I tell people, you can't be a power lifter and a bodybuilder. Pick one. Okay? Pick one. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Pick one. You're not going to do both.
Yep. I got a question here too. This was from Greg T. And he said, from New York, he said, many of my friends love to stack EQ and test. Why is that a popular stack? Do you recommend?
I mean, they go together, but anything goes with test. Test is the base for everything. So you can, before that slash, you can throw in there Primabol in the test, Masteron in test, HGH in test, Deca in test, anything in test.
Okay.
The test goes with anything.
Okay.
EQ, yeah. I mean, here's what's going on right now, and I'll be honest with people. A lot of people I see are using EQ now because they can't get their hands on Primabol or Masteron.
Okay.
That's the honest truth. To be totally blunt, I see a lot of people resorting to using EQ now because they say they can't get Masteron or Primabol because of a shortage or this and that. And this shortage that everybody keeps talking about for the last few years, that they can't get their hands on this, they can't get it. I don't know what they're dealing with or who they're dealing with, because I've never seen this,
It's never affected you.
Never affected me. No, never. When people sit there and go, man, Primabol doesn't exist anymore. Masteron doesn't. Yeah, yes, it does. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, well, it's all fake. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'll tell you what. We'll take this product right here. You pay for the testing. I'm going to send it out, and I'm going to prove to you it's not fake.
Yep.
So, but I hear about this. So I hear a lot of people now, I'm an EQ, because I can't get my hands on this. I can't get my hands on that. And I think that's why a lot of people are doing EQ now. When I tell a lot of people, it's a horse drug, right? No, it is. They don't even know what it is. They don't even know the name of it. They call it EQ. They don't even know it's called Equipoise.
Yeah. Back in the day, I remember when we used to get it, it was Ganabol and it actually had a picture of a horse on it.
Of a horse. Remember it was like in a jug bottle.
Yeah, jug bottle. Yes. Yeah. And it had a picture of a horse on it, and like a green label
label with a brown horse.
That's correct. Green label, brown horse. That's what I remember.
Yeah, green label. I mean, I'm picturing when you're saying that. I'm picturing my head right now. It was in a jug. It was like a little apple cider looking jug.
Yes.
Not a little bottle. You know what I mean? Yep. And a green label with a brown horse on it, and Ganabol, and and that was EQ. And it used to come like, what was it? Something like that little jug was like 25 mLs or something. Yeah. It was a lot of them, or maybe 30 ml. I just remember it was like a big,
a big jug. Yeah, big jug.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you find this out, but back in the day when we were doing all that stuff to today, we weren't taking like the doses they're taking today. They're taking like 1,000 milligrams of this, 1,000 milligrams of that. Back then, we only just took a little bit, and we obviously had the results. I don't know what it is.
I think it's two things. Number one, there's a lot of people out there using stuff now that they don't even know what they're using. I mean, I had somebody recently I talked to, and they said a couple things about, they just said a couple things about their peptides. And I just said to them, well, this is supposed to be this color. That's supposed to be this color. It is? That's the first thing I could tell you. That, well, you either have underdosed or fake or whatever it is, okay? So while there's also fake anabolics out there, okay? So I think people are using a lot more MIGs of stuff because they don't even know what they're using, okay? Number two, they go to their fake. Remember something, back in the day, we didn't have social media influencers.
No, we didn't.
And I think that's a big difference. We had the magazines, Flex, Muscle and Fitness, Iron Man, all those magazines. And if you remember, it was strictly taboo. Listen, you looked at a bodybuilder back. I don't know if you saw it. This is funny that we're just on the subject of it. Did you see what Robbie Robinson said the other day? Remember him?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. Robbie Robinson gave an interview the other day. And I never knew this. Do you know he got 2 lifetime bans from the IFBB?
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Me neither. And do you want to know why? This is hilarious. So he said back in the day, they were encouraged to say in the magazines and interviews, well, what do you take? Well, I take Weeder protein and Weeder aminos. They were supposed to push the product.
Joe Weeder, yeah.
Weeder. And he instead one time gave an interview and laid out his entire cycle. And he goes, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. And he laid out his whole cycle for the interviewer, and it got printed in a magazine. And he said he was immediately dropped from his contract, and then he was blackballed, and then he received a lifetime ban. And then he received a second lifetime ban when he doubled down on it because he was given a chance to take it back and say, listen, this is what really I get the results from is the Weeder protein and the this and the that and all this kind of stuff. And he doubled down and he said, bullshit, I don't even take protein. He goes, I eat all my protein. He goes, I don't take a protein powder. And he got a second life. So I didn't know this. I was reading this whole interview the other day, and I found it fascinating. And it brings me to that. We used to have the magazines, and it was strictly taboo in the magazines for anybody to say what they were really using and everything. Now everybody's got influencers online, and they're laying out their exact cycles for people. And the problem is these people, okay, aren't the elite of the elite laying out their cycles. These aren't top 10 Olympia competitors saying what their cycles are. These are dudes just in the gym. I'm doing it, 2 grams of this. I'm doing, and I sit there and I scratch my head, and hey, some of them look good, but at the same time, how much hard, all I see is you posting pictures of yourself all day long. All I see is you in the gym, and it looks like your ass never breaks a sweat.
Yeah, there's a lot of bro science going around.
Yep.
A lot of bro science. People just do whatever
and
they
I
want.
don't, and I think that has a lot to do with the influencers. I really, really do, because back in the day, we took much lower amounts of stuff. And back in the day also, we truly cycled. Yes,
we came off.
And we came off completely, and people don't do that no more.
No.
People stay on year round now. You know what? What became popular with that was that whole blast and cruise mentality. So they would blast 1,000 mgs of test, and they would cruise at 250 mgs of test, and then go back. They would never get off. But they were doing that in their 20s and 30s.
Yep.
And we used to legitimately do 8, 10, or 12 week cycles, if you remember.
Yep.
And then we would get off for like 6 months.
Yep.
So it wasn't even like, or I remember there was a time which we would cycle once a year. That's it. Once a year.
Yeah.
So you do once a year, let's say 3 months, right? Let's say 90 days. The rest of the year, you're clean. That's not done like that anymore. Now, the rest of the year, we were still all in the gym training. It's not like now what these guys do is, God forbid they have to get off stuff, they just don't train.
That's
we
true.
were still training. We were still busting our ass. We were still, so I think that has a lot to do with it too. They're dependent on this stuff.
Yep.
And, back in the day, it was truly cycling back then. Like you heard Ronnie Coleman give an interview on Joe Rogan recently, and he was asked about it, and he was totally honest. And he said, oh no, he goes, I would one day be on this, and this for 10 weeks. He goes, and then I would just literally stop cold turkey.
Yep.
He goes completely clean and just stay off for, 5 months.
Yeah.
That's how it was done back in the day. If you even look at Arnold back in the day, Arnold, until he started making movies, would never allow any photographers or anybody to take pictures of him without either a sweatshirt on or this and that when he wasn't on stuff. So if you always saw him in his string tank top, or it was when he was on, and because he would truly come off. Then when he was doing movies, you saw the difference in his body when he was on and he was off.
Yep.
Because he couldn't hide that anymore because, he had to do movies.
Yep. And, genetics plays a part in it, but also kids today, I don't think they know how to train properly. I think they look what influencers do, because there's exercises I see these people doing sometimes that I've never in my life going back seen any of the old school guys doing. And I'm like, what are you doing? This new way to turn in your hand. And it's like, what are you doing? It doesn't make sense.
Yep. They do these things. They're trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
They really are. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. And, I'll see people sometimes put their bent over barbell rows don't work. They don't work. They're no good for you. Hold on a minute. Arnold, Dorian, Ronnie, they all did bent over barbell rows. I think it worked pretty well for them.
Yep.
I think it worked pretty well for them. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying, hey, listen, is there a way of doing it wrong? Or is there a way of not, if you're just jerking the weight or this or that? Yeah. But, when I hear people turn around and go, squat, leg pressing is much better than squatting. Really? Let me tell you something. That's not what Tom Platz believed.
No.
Okay? There's a lot of things I look at, and everybody's trying to reinvent the wheel. And this is my favorite thing. Listen to the science. trust the science. That's what these influencers are saying now. And when I sit there and I go, the last time I heard somebody say trust the science or listen to the science, it had to do with the vax. I didn't listen then either. There is nothing that replaces hands-on knowledge. You can read a book as much as you want. You can take a course online to get certified as much as you want. I don't care, okay? You're not going to truly learn until you apply it yourself. And what I tell everybody is this: you have to try things yourself, okay? And when I give somebody a movement or something to do that's new, the first thing I say to them is, okay, now, did you feel it? Where did you feel it? There might be something for me that kicks the living hell out of me that I feel wonderful doing. But then I give to somebody else because their body, because I'm 6'2" and they're maybe 5'4". My femurs are a lot longer. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So for a movement for me, wow, and for them, man, I really didn't feel that. I did. All right, let me see how you're doing it. And then they're doing it spot on perfect. Well, you know what? Your body just doesn't react to this particular movement. And too many people out there are afraid to say that now. Too many people want to just say, you must use this movement. And what I tell everybody is, everybody's body is different, okay? You have to go with what works for you.
100%. Everyone does it all the time. I was at the gym and I saw a kid. He was doing squats, and I saw him, and I saw, as soon as I saw him, I said, he's not going to do this. He had 4 plates on each side. He got it on there. He's all wrapped up. He came that much down, that much up, that much down, and did it 4 times and put it back. I was like, oh, and I said to him, I said, why don't you lower the weight and go all the way down and come all the way up and do it 12, 15 times till you can't go. So try that. Because he just was like this. And that was it. And I was like, this is not doing nothing.
And most of it is bouncing the weight.
Yes, 100%. And that's what I said. And he was a young kid, obviously. And, I was like, oh boy, so I just told him, I said, why don't you go down all the way and come up? I said, because that's where, the squats really work. And I have bad hips because I had my hips replaced. So, but I still go all the way down. I lighten the weight and just go down as I can. But
you see me on the pendulum videos I put up.
I squat the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I literally, now I go down super, super deep, but I'm a rare case in the fact that usually people my height don't have that flexibility because of their ankle flexibility. I have the ability to go super deep on things. But the reason why is I was taught at a very young age, okay? Very young age by somebody. When you squat, here's how I was taught originally. When you squat down and you have your hamstrings sit on your calves.
That's deep.
And that's how deep I used to go. And the term was ass to grass. But what he taught me very young was, you go down and I want your hamstring and your calf to meet. And once they meet, you just let them sit for a second, then you explode out of that. And that's how I do for life, that's how I do my leg movements. The pendulum, the hat, anything. I go down until literally I have no more ability to go deeper than that. There's no way, unless I dislodge my leg. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
How are your knees? Are your knees okay?
Phenomenal.
Your knees are good? Okay.
Never had any type of... listen, I am very, very lucky. Never had any type of knee issues. Have never had any type of back issues. I mean, will I get back spasms here and there? Of course I will, okay? There'll be certain days I'll be walking funny because I'll have back spasm, but that's got nothing to do with structural. That's not like disc or anything. That's just every once in a while, I overdid. I got back spasms. Big deal. I know, hey, I'll sleep it off. You know what I'm saying? Knees always been lucky. The only thing that have ever hindered my training, my shoulders. I've worked through, I know I had a torn rotator cuff on my left side that I've worked through, never had surgery or anything. And I've just rehabilitated my own and worked through. Okay. And my both shoulders, when I do pressing motions and this and that, I feel it, I feel it. But I could also alter my workout around it. Like, for example, I'm huge. I'm still able to do full dips, okay, body weight dips. So my shoulders aren't that bad that I'm able to. You see what I'm saying?
I think you do it with the chain too, right? Don't you?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen you do it with the chain too on a couple times.
So if I'm able to do, you see what I'm saying? It's not that bad. You know what I mean? but I've always trained also, and you remember this, I always trained very, very smart. I never trained, and I'm not putting this person down at all because he's an icon, but I never trained like Ronnie did.
Mm-hmm.
We all know.
Yep.
He trained dangerous. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah.
I always trained very, very smart, very, very careful, very, very strict. If I never cared about more weight, more. Would I use heavy weight? Yeah, but I always made sure I could use it. I also was always big on using a slow negative. I controlled, what I'm saying? Controlled. What I tell people is, if you can get the weight up, you should be able to go twice as slow on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you get that weight up, you should be able to control the weight down. When you see these people, they curl up and they drop the weight down. Mm-hmm. That's not doing it. That's just wrecking your joints. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. My entire life, I have literally been injury free. Okay. Out of 2 injuries. Okay. One was in 2007 when I tore my right distal bicep at the elbow insert. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even training how I tore that. That's the funny thing. I was actually training somebody and I was completely cold, so I wasn't warmed up or this and that. And I was demonstrating something and they went and they did it and they did it completely wrong. And I got pissed off and I went over. I said, what can't you get through your head? It's like this. And I picked it up and I went to show them. And when I went to snap it around, my bicep stayed back here. You heard snap. Okay. Mm. And I knew it instantly. I felt it pull up, you know what I mean? But that wasn't me training. That was just me, cold and showing somebody something, stupidly. And the only other time was, I think I was like 19 years old. I think it was 19. And again, not training. Okay. Playing football, I tore my hamstring. Mm. And I tore it right behind the knee. It wasn't a full tear. It wasn't a tendon tear. It was partial muscle. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't tendon. I try to tell everybody that. So surgery, I never had. For the bicep tendon, I had to have surgery. For the hamstring, no, it healed on its own.
How many days a week do you work out? What's your rest?
Currently now?
What's your split? What do you work out certain days?
I only work out 3 days a week.
That's it? Only 3 days a week?
Here's what I do. Max I ever work out is 4 days a week. I'm talking about with weights. Okay. Mm-hmm. The max I ever work out with weights is 4 days a week. The least amount is 3 days a week. I've been on 3 days a week now since January. My plan was to stay on 3 days a week until about April, and I was going to put it back to 4 days a week. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel I need to. I'm actually doing great at 3 days a week. Growing, feeling great. Everything's fine. Strength is, I'm not losing anything. Okay. Mm-hmm. Here's what I used to do when I used to do 4 days a week. I used to do full upper body on Monday and Friday, full lower body on Wednesday and Sunday. Mm. I started touring around in January to say, I'm going to give myself an extra day off from the weights. And I did, what I do now is Monday, push, chest, shoulders, triceps. Okay. Wednesday, all lower. Okay. All lower on Wednesday. Friday, back, biceps.
Okay.
And that's it. So I'm hitting everything once a week, but I'm trashing, where I need the time to recover. You know what I'm saying? I need the time to recover. And if you go back in the day, I always got my best gains from hitting the body parts 1 day a week. And that's another thing I see a lot of people.
That's what I do. One by one. That's what I do.
And I see, here's what I tell people that should hit things twice a week. If you haven't been training that long, if you're newer to the game, okay? Mm-hmm. If you're not looking to, if your goal is to be fit, to put on quality muscle, you're not trying to retain mass, all this, hit your body parts twice a week, okay? Mm-hmm. You're going to see better benefit from that. If you've been in this game for a long time, I really think once a week is beneficial to you. And I don't the reason why I do it, back in the day, we used to do things like we'd have chest and bicep day, shoulder and tricep day, back day, leg day. So we were doing it over the course of 4 or 5 workouts. Yeah. But doing once a day. I limit it to 3 workouts now because I have those days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where I trash those body parts. And then I have plenty of rest in there. And I found those 4 days of rest. I mean, think about something, you know it. You grow when you rest, not when you're training. You're tearing yourself down when you're training.
Yeah, of course.
You're growing when you're resting. So it's actually been more and more beneficial when I was using the 2 days, the 4 day a week split. I wasn't recovering as fast. I was beat up more. I was getting sick more. Those are all signs of overtraining. And I've always, me personally, I overtrain real easy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very easy. Me personally, I have the ability to overtrain like that. Okay. I have to even watch the amount of sets I did. That's why I train that HIIT style, all out intensity, 2 working sets tops, a lot of things, 1 working set. And the reason why is because I overtrained very, very easy. If I went in and did the bro split and did 12 sets for chest, for example, right? I'd be overtrained in 3 weeks.
Wow.
It doesn't work for me. I have to go hard and intense, less sets. And that's how my body reacts.
Okay. Well, that's exactly how I pretty much do it. Like I said, 1 body part a day, and I kind of just go from there. And
yep. Yeah. I think that works better, you know, and I see all these people nowadays, oh, you got for proper stimulus, you have to eat each muscle at least twice a week. And I'll ask some people and I'll say, so tell me how you're hitting your muscles. Well, on Monday, I'm hitting chest, shoulders, triceps. On Tuesday, I'm hitting legs. On Wednesday, I'm hitting back and biceps. Well, where are you fitting in your second stimulus of each one? Well, then on Thursday, I go back to doing chest. On Friday, I'm doing, so you're going to tell me you're doing legs on Tuesday and then you're fine to do them on Friday?
Not if you're doing legs the right way, banging them out.
Exactly.
You're going to
exactly. See, when I was doing legs twice a week, I split it up as, all right, let's say, for example, Wednesday would be focused on trashing quads and calves with less emphasis on hamstrings. And on Sunday, emphasis would be on hamstrings and glutes with less emphasis on quads and calves. So that allows you to, see what I'm saying? But if you're telling me you're going to the gym and you're squatting twice a week, or you're hack squatting twice, whatever it is, twice, and you're doing it Tuesday and Friday, you're recovered by then. You're hitting chest Monday and Thursday, and you're recovered by then. I don't think you're hitting it enough. I really, hard enough. What I mean, you're doing too much in the gym. So you got to take it with, and then another thing too I do is like with legs. Every single leg workout, okay, I do my posterior chain first. So I do my hamstring work, my glute work. That's all done first.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yep. Then I do my quad work. And I try to explain to people, as I'm sure you know too, that's a great way to warm up your knees.
Yep. That's why I think I do it, because it feels better with time I'm getting to press, leg press and everything in extension.
Absolutely it does. Absolutely. Because by that time, you've already done all that knee flexion. Okay. You've already done all the hamstring work. Your knee flexion has been done already. You're warmed up. It's not like you're going in and going, oh my God, I have clients. Sometimes I want to do quads first. And, my first couple sets, I can't go all the way down because my knees aren't warmed up. Well, that's why I want to do hamstrings first. That's why, because the whole idea is your knees are warmed up. So from the very first set of your quadriceps, you can go deep all the way down. You're not wasting any time or any sets. So I always do my posterior chain first, hamstrings, glutes, this, that, and then I move on to the quad work. And people go, well, aren't you tired by then? No.
The only one thing I do when I go every day is I do calves just about almost every day. Now my calves, and I've been told by like Greg and by Lee Priest and stuff, like your calves, since you walk on your calves, they take a lot more to get bigger. A lot of people don't have big calves. A lot of it's genetic. I don't have big calves, but they're very, I work them out as much as I can daily, and I just push them out because it takes a lot to grow calves.
And from back in the day, and also you see online, I've always had freaky calves.
You did. Okay. You had big calves, but I don't genetically.
Exactly. I've always had freaky calves, and even now, okay, but, and I say this, I'm the complete opposite. I train my calves. The most I've ever trained my calves in my life is 2 times a week.
Oh, wow.
The most ever. I actually get the best results of doing calves once a week. That's how my body the best. But, and this is what I tell people, you got to remember something. My calves are used to carrying around 275, 285 on a daily basis. That's a workout in itself.
Yep, exactly.
So they're getting a pump every single day with me just moving around. Okay. But me personally, my calves have always responded to less stimulus, but trashing them. You know, back in the day, I don't do that many sets anymore, but back in the day, I used to do calves once a week, 10 to 12 sets. And I've also always been a big fan of when I do calves. I call it the 3-foot positions. Straight on.
Pigeon toe.
Yes. I've always done that. And I fully believe that's always that helped build them at the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? But I was lucky. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I had like diamond calves when I was 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, calves are genetic. You know, that's why they're genetic. Like for me, so what I'll do is I'll do 2 sets of calves, but I'll do them to, let's say I'll do 50 or 60 reps, and then as soon as it starts really burning, that's when I start counting, and I'll do like 25 or 30, and I'll wait till it starts burning, and then boom, that's when I start my counting.
And that's, it's funny you say that, because that's a thing that I don't see too many people do. A lot of people want to do their calves like they're doing their upper body, and they're doing 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps. And calves, I always said to people, my low rep calf set is like 25, 30. I'll go 50, 60, 70. I used to do 100 rep calf sets.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you grow them. Calves, I've always responded to calves with very, very high repetitions. Okay. Use a moderate rate weight and very high repetitions. That's how I've always responded to it. I don't go low reps on calves. That, to me, you're using your Achilles tendon and your tendons and ligaments more than your actual calf. You know, like I tell people, I'm like, listen, I could put you on a calf raise with no weight at all, just your body weight. Have you come all the way down to a full stretch. Have you come all the way up, ballerina toe it.
Yes.
Flex there on that top position and then come back down. And if you give me 50 reps like that slow, I guarantee you by the time you step off of there, you're going to be shaky.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. You know, because I don't start counting to at least 60, and then I say, okay, now I start counting and get 25 more, and I'm dead. My calves are burning. But
I've always I love high reps for calves. I still to this day, that's how I train my calves, very, very high reps. I also another thing that I always hit for calves is I have a tibia dorsal calf raise. Okay, so it's a tibia raise. Everything you always see is calf. This you pull back towards you. So you work that front part. There, it's great for knee health, but it also gives you that 3-dimensional look in your calf. I used to, back in the day, if you go way, way back at Gold's Gym, I used to sit on they didn't have these machines back then. So I used to sit on the seated row, put my heels on the seated row, take a table bar, set it against my toes, and pull my toes back.
Wow.
And back in the day, they didn't have that machine. I used to do it that way. Now I've got my own, they make them, and and you put the weights on, and you put your feet in, and you just pull back. And that's another thing that's phenomenal for your.
I don't do flat bench either. I do all incline, basically. I do mostly all incline. I don't know if
I haven't flat barbell bench pressed. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't barbell bench press, period. I don't know. Last time I maybe did that was 13, 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm all incline. Mostly all incline.
So it's mostly dumbbell,
machine,
cable. But I don't flat barbell. A flat bench. Every once in a while, I have a Vicor bench. I don't know what that is.
No,
you know what a Bosu ball is, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's a bench, and instead of the hardness of a bench, it's like a Bosu ball that's built into the bench. So you have to actually balance your core on that when you lay back.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I like that because you can't go super heavy on the bench on that, because you have to keep everything in line and tight when you do it. Okay. And it allows you really to get a nice deep stretch and come up hard. Okay. So I'll use the Vicor bench to flat bench on, but that's dumbbell. Okay. Not barbell. But most of my work is incline, like dip work, fly work, a lot of cable fly work. But flat bench is overrated. Flat bench it puts more stress on your shoulder than anything else.
I've seen more people tear their pecs on flat bench than people tear their pec, especially older people. I see them all the time tear. Me.
Absolutely. Flat barbell bench is the number one thing that for pec tears. Number one thing for pec tears. Yep. I see it all the time. That's the number. I say there's two movements that I see the most injuries in. One is flat barbell bench press for pecs, for pec tears, and the other is incline curls for biceps.
Oh, okay.
The preacher.
Preacher.
If you see the preacher curl for biceps, I see more people at the extended position down there, and it explodes. And you can see it all over Instagram. People doing it all the time. They overstretch that position. They hyperextend the elbow, and it pops. And that's why I have a way. I've posted it before. I do the preacher curls in a different way. I do it where instead of my arm is facing that way, it's facing this way. So you're coming up like this.
Oh, coming up like this.
Yes. So you're coming up like if you're going to do a John Meadows crossbody like this.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Another great week, Garrett. We will see you next week and get everything going. So where can people find you if they want to talk to you, get a consultation?
Pope Training, all one word, POPE Training, Instagram. Go ahead and just message me on there and I'll get your message.
All right. Like and subscribe, guys. We will see you guys next week. All right. Talk to you later. Man. You got it, man.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron.